Okay, everything looks like it's working. So at the end of the video, I will go back and I will answer any questions that might pop up. Okay? So, let's go to Dr. Wilson's site first. Okay, so on Dr. Wilson's website and on this YouTube channel, right, we are concerned first and foremost about the truth. Okay, so politics is part of the truth. Okay, politics is part of life. I encourage everyone not to shy away from politics. Okay, many people shy away from politics, and they they think politics aren't important and they can just opt out. That's true to an extent, right? You can opt out of the current medical system. You can opt out of living in fear and things like that. But you don't want to completely opt out of the political system, right? Because if that happens, the political system will leave you behind and you will be ruled over. You'll be ruled by people that you don't want ruling over you, okay? Because politics is a part of life, whether we like it or not, right? So let's say we got rid of the USA and politics and everything, right? And it was just 50 people, living in the forest or something, right? We just lived in a tribe. Okay, the tribe still has politics, right? And as the society grows, right, as we start to farm and we have children, and the children have children, and the village grows, we have to figure out a way to govern ourselves, right? We have to pick leaders, right? Who is the best at farming? Who is the best at finding water? Who's the best hunter? Do we vote on it as a village? Are we sharing the resources? And this becomes more complicated the bigger the society gets. And so to think that you can opt out of politics is a fool's errand. Okay, it's foolish of you. Politics is at the center of everything. Okay, it's a fact of the human condition. To be human is to have politics. Okay, and so the goal shouldn't be to opt out of politics. Now you should opt out of a lot of the fear around it and being emotionally attached in a lot of ways, but you should also understand what's going on. You should understand here in America how the Constitution works. You need to understand how the legislative bodies work. You need to understand how the court systems work. And most people in our society, it's similar to things like health and science and things like that. Most of the populations, unfortunately, has become so dumbed down they don't even understand how most basic things work. Okay, so many U.S. citizens don't really understand how the political system works, how the election system works, or anything of that sort. Okay, and because part of it is because they're too sick. Part of it is because they were part of a public school system that dumbed them down. Part of it is people are busy. It takes time, right, to learn these things. If you're working 8-hour days, you come home, eat dinner, you don't have a lot of time. You want to spend the rest of the time with your family. And then on the weekends, maybe you go do something with your family, okay? And then a lot of people are just getting snippets of the news, but they don't really understand what's happening because they don't have the time or want to take the time to actually study what's going on, okay? So I just wanted to bring to your attention some updates with the USA election, okay? Now, first and foremost, I want to say that this site is something you all need to be tracking, okay? And that is Thedonald.win, okay? In my opinion, Thedonald.win is the second most important website on Earth right now, okay? I'll say number one is Larry's website, right? drwilson.com, okay? Because this is where I find to be the most truth, okay? But this website, Thedonald.win, is very, very important. And it's very, very important because it's not controlled, and it's very organically driven, and it's where most of the Donald Trump supporters right now have congregated, okay? So what this stems from is there was a Reddit. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with Reddit, so you can go to reddit.com, right? There was a subreddit called The Donald, and basically it was where all the Trump supporters kind of shared information and intel. It was like a giant hub, okay? Reddit was taken over by communists. You can actually look it up. Reddit was actually bought a few years ago by a corporation owned by the Chinese Communist Party. And once that happened, the censorship on Reddit slowly got worse and worse. More paid shills, worse propaganda, until Reddit basically now on most subreddits is basically just Chinese communist propaganda, and it's unusable. And they deleted the Donald for bogus reasons. Okay, and so many people like me knew that it was coming. Okay, we knew that the subreddit was going to be deleted. And so we created a whole new website kind of based off of Reddit. It's the Reddit feel. Like you have the upvotes, there's hot, there's new, there's rising. You make an account. It's very similar to Reddit, except it's only Donald Trump supporters, basically, okay? So just to warn you, it's not really like a full spectrum political debate on this website. This is only for Donald Trump supporters to basically aggregate and to share information on what's happening in the election, okay? But it's one of the only sources of truth about what's happening in the election, okay? That's not censored, not been propagandized, etc. And yeah, I think that you should be visiting this website every day. Okay, it's very important right now so you understand what's going on, okay? So, what's happening? Okay, the number one important thing that you have to understand is that Texas, along with several other states, from my understanding, 19 now that have signed on, are suing 4 swing states, which include Pennsylvania, Michigan, and 2 others, basically to overturn the election. Okay, and the basis of the lawsuit is that these swing states, especially like Pennsylvania, violated their own state constitutions by allowing mail-in voting after Election Day. Okay, which they did, and so this court case has a very good constitutional root in it, and it has very good chance to succeed. Okay, so what does that mean? So the case has been docketed. Okay, what that means, because it's a process. Okay, so how it works is Texas, along with some other states that signed on now, they basically have a court case and they send it to the Supreme Court, and what then happens is it's docketed. Okay. Now what happens is there's a deadline. I think it's within a few hours, actually, and the Supreme Court will have to vote to basically rule on the case, okay? So the ruling comes after. The first step is actually just they have to vote not on the case. They have to vote to even see the case, okay? So the court case right now is what's called docketed, and shortly, sometime today, the Supreme Court will basically vote on whether to hear the case or not. Okay, and then if they vote to hear the case, then they will hear the case, and then they will vote on it. Okay, Trump does control the Supreme Court. Okay, if the Supreme Court votes down party lines, they will rule in Texas's favor 5-4, and they will overturn the election. Okay, whether this happens or not, no one knows the future for certain. Will I believe it happens? I do. Maybe that's the optimist in me. Maybe I'm just right. I don't know. But you need to understand this is what's happening. There's at least more significant odds than the whole mainstream media complex is letting people know. There's a chance that this video is deleted or my channel is deleted. I don't think that this will be censored too much because we're still a relatively small channel. But we'll probably lose at least, this video probably at least won't be monetized. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got a strike or the channel was deleted. But at least I got the video out there, and I can always rebuild somewhere else. We are backing up our videos on blockchain-based sites like Library and BitChute. And so if that happens, it will happen. Okay. But at least some of you saw the video, right? And they are having a harder time controlling information. Sites like this, especially like native websites, are very hard to stop. Okay, and censorship does tend to fail eventually, and they are losing control of the narrative in a lot of ways. Okay, but you understand this. So this lawsuit is the most important single thing happening with the election by far. Okay, basically this overwrites most of the other smaller lawsuits that we've seen from Republicans or states and things like that. On a state, most of it has been rolled into one case. Okay, and the ruling on this case will basically determine the election. Okay, and this seems to be the most important thing. Okay, there are a couple other avenues, from my understanding, that Trump can win from, For example, if the court cases just drag on and it hasn't been resolved, he can clog up the system enough to where electors basically just both parties send their electors, and that's a little bit more chaotic. It'd be preferable if he just won a clean court victory. Okay, but you need to be aware of the ramifications of this. Okay, we're basically in some sort of civil war right now in America. Okay. A large segment of the population doesn't understand that Biden didn't actually win yet. A large segment of the population thinks that the media declared the winner and therefore Biden won. They don't even think that they don't even know that this is happening. The censorship has gotten so bad it's very difficult to share information on the court cases, and it's getting worse because they're scared because they know that there's a good chance that Trump wins this court case. And you have to understand that if Trump wins this, it's going to be chaotic either way. Personally, I think that civil unrest is coming either way. If Biden wins, he will force lockdowns. There will be a national mask mandate. He might try to get through mandatory vaccinations for like benefits and things like that. And the red states will probably revolt and try to break away from the union. And then will he send in federal troops? I don't know. If Trump wins, it'll be like the riots we happened during the summer times 10. Okay, cities will probably burn. It'll be really, really bad. And there's other, sort of in between possibilities as well. Maybe Trump declares martial law and he says there's been election interference, which there has been. You need to know that there has been election interference. China owns our election system, the electronic voting system, Dominion and Smartmatic are owned and controlled by foreign adversaries. Okay, and you need to know that Trump was cheated out of the election 100%. Okay, I'm not going to show you evidence. Maybe I'll show you evidence in another video, but I would like to think that you trust me. Okay, and I would hope that you would just trust me on this. That I've looked. I spend way too much time going deep into the news and the data and stuff like that. I should be working more. I should get back to making videos consistently is what I should be doing. But you need to trust me that I've looked at the data and 100%. What happened is that Trump was winning in a landslide and they got sloppy. That's why these court cases have so much merit, is because there's so much evidence, because Trump was winning by so much in these swing states that basically they had to print votes in the course of they panicked and had to print votes in the course of an hour or two. And basically, the chances of those being organic it's not even statistically possible. To have 150,000, 99% Biden votes at 3 a.m. in every swing state. Okay, things like that. These are statistical impossibilities that Trump lost the election. Okay, and you'd be prepared for it. I do expect chaos in the coming months. Okay, how many people are going to have psychological breakdowns as they realize that the person that they thought won the election actually didn't, and they already have Trump derangement syndrome and all these sorts of things. Okay, you have to understand the Chinese Communist Party is also funding things like Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and their foot soldiers will be causing havoc in the cities, especially. Okay. Places in the rural areas won't be as bad, okay? And we are already in some sort of civil war, okay? Will the civil war go hot? I don't know. Even if the civil war does go hot here in America, it's not going to be like the previous civil war where there's hundreds of thousands of troops shooting each other in mass armies. It will be mostly relegated to, it'll be on a city by city, county by county, state by state basis. We'll see how that goes. I would have some food, I would have some water, I would have some cash, and I would be mentally, physically, spiritually prepared for what's coming, because I do think that these will be a difficult couple months. I think that intuitively by February, people will have come to terms with their new reality and things will have calmed down a bit, but I think emotions are going to get heavy here in these next couple months. You have to realize so many people have been brainwashed by the media. So many people have no idea what's going on. And it's going to be a massive psychological breaking point. And if you combine that with the economic ramifications that are coming due to the lockdowns and money printing, and you combine it with people's feelings over COVID and being locked down under house arrest in some states, I think a lot of people are going to reach a breaking point, and it's going to reach some sort of crescendo, in my opinion. So you need to be safe, happy, healthy, and you need to be psychologically prepared for what's coming. And most importantly, you need to know what's going on. Okay, we don't want to be naive about what's going on in our world. We want to know so that we can prepare for the future. Okay, so that's the basis of what I want to say. The Thedonald.win is the website. You need to be visiting here so you understand what's actually going on with the court cases and what's happening. And this is probably one of the most important websites on earth right now, besides Dr. Wilson's website. Okay, because they don't want the truth getting out there, and it's very important that we understand the truth in all walks of life. Okay, deep healing. This isn't about what we eat. It's also about what we know and what we consume. Our mental diet. Mental diet is important as well as our physical diets. Okay, so that's it. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.